Hey folks, it's Gail from Seattle Coffee Gear. So you purchased the Breville Barista Express from Seattle Coffee Gear. And what would you expect to get from Seattle Coffee Gear that you don't get other places? Expert advice and hands-on training. That's why I'm here today. We are going to take the Breville Barista Express out of the box and we're going to dial in some coffee. We've got some intelligentsia here. We're going to show you how this machine works, and then we're going to also do some steaming and try to guide you through that. So let me get it out of the box. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, so we got the Barista Express out of the box. Here it is. I'm going to show you what came in the box as well. It comes with two sets of 4 baskets, and double and single, and this is non-pressurized and this is pressurized. They call this for pre-ground coffee. You know, it's for if you're being challenged by getting the tamp of the grind and all that right on the non-pressurized, move over to the pressurized for a while, try that out, see if it works any better for you. I like to use the grinder because it's built into it. That's one of the features of this machine. I'm going to use the double in our portafilter. Here's your portafilter. Comes with the tamper that it's not all bad. It's got some metal and it goes up in there. Comes with the razor for topping off the coffee to make sure you have the right. You get that thing out of there. It's, well, see, I'm going to show you how to get it out. That's why I'm here, folks, to struggle just like you guys do. Okay, got the razor. That is, I'll show you how to use it. That's for getting the same amount of coffee each time it goes down in there. The Breville cleaning kit. The frothing pitcher comes with it. This is for doing your cleaning. Let's see what we got here. We've got a brush for the grinder. We have a this needly thing, and what this is for is to clean out the hole in the steam arm. If you get milk clogged in there, it won't work right. And what else we got here? Oh, the scoop. Scoop. So that all comes in there. Frothing pitcher comes with it. And it also, I'm not going to use this today, it comes with a charcoal filter, and this is the applicator, and it goes back in the tank right there. Just push it down in there and leave the applicator on it. And there's the tank. So what they recommend when you first get this machine is they want you to do some flushing. So first we got to get the boiler full of water. When I turn this machine on, you got to plug it in. That's one of the first things you got to do, folks. See this? Plug it in. I'll do that now. Hey, we make mistakes around here too. Autofill. That's one thing on this machine that's kind of good. On some machines, like I have talked about on the Sylvia, you have to refill the boiler. It doesn't autofill after you get done steaming. This machine automatically detects when there's not enough water in the boiler, and it will automatically take water from the reservoir and put it in the boiler so you don't burn it up. So we have our grinder right up in here. We have the knob over here that tells us the fineness of the grind, and I see it comes from the factory set at about number 5. It goes from 1 up to 16. I'm going to leave it at the 5 it was at. This is how much is going to dose down from the grinder into your portafilter, and this is less, this is more. We're going to try it way down in here. This is for the single, and if I push that, it will double the amount. Over here is for programming. Each one of these is a programmable button, a single and a double, and they come programmed from the factory, 20 and 30 ounces, or 20 and 30 seconds. And then you can also get in here and you can program volumes on that as well. But that's advanced menu. We don't need to get into that. We're going to take it just the way it comes out of the box. Over here is your button that does steam or hot water. So hot water dispenser is right here. steam arm is right here. And this is a traditional steam arm. It does not have a panarello, so a little more technique. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to grind and I'm going to use the grinder at number 5 like it came from the factory. I want to see what it's going to do. And I will have to play with the dosing, I'm sure. But all you do is push this in here, make the button come on. The first time it's going to grind more because it's got to fill the burrs, the 2 burrs. So where I had that set was not enough. So I would probably take it up and through here. And to just top this off, I'm going to put it on 1. So let me show you that again since I upped it some. Put it on 2. I would probably give it just a little bit more, right? Just about like that. But I'm just going to top this off. Okay, and you saw what I did. I started it, and when I got what I wanted, I hit it again. That interrupts it. That's good to know, because you might be getting more than you want. Level it off like this. Make sure you do this, and don't push down with your finger. Just go straight across. And it gets the coffee into all the nooks and crannies. Also, clean off the tabs. Get any excess coffee off of there. Before we do that, they also recommend that you do a flush on this machine. I almost forgot that. So we are going to run the double. They want you to run the double. They also want you to do the hot water. Flush that out. And then the steam as well. Steam's got to come up to the right temperature. Since it's a single boiler, it was at brew temperature. We want it to come up to steam temperature, which is much higher. So you have a little lag time there. And meanwhile, while that's doing that, flushing out, I am now going to tamp this with about 30 pounds of pressure. If you're having trouble determining what 30 pounds of pressure is, if you have a bathroom scale, bring it on out here, put this on it, and push. And you'll get an idea of what 30 pounds of pressure is. That thumping noise is perfectly normal. That's the thermal block producing steam. So now it's too hot to brew. When it's ready to brew, auto-filling, bringing water into the boiler because I diminished the water. When it's ready, these lights will go solid just like they did. Okay? The other thing I forgot to mention is you're going to need something to measure out 2 ounces because you're going to want 20 to 30 seconds, 2 ounces. And this is programmed for 30 seconds, so we're going to go with the factory setting and see if this grind is right. If, and I don't know what's going to happen, this machine just came out of the box. If it comes out and we don't have 2 ounces in 30 seconds, that tells me the grind is too fine. You want to take it a little coarser. And this needle wants to be in that dark gray range for the perfect consistency of your shot. That tells you that the grind is right as well. This is not looking too bad. I'm going to show you what it's like if it's not right. That's a little slim, so I would take the shot is a little bit short. For 30 seconds, I got a little under the 2 ounces. That tells me I need to make it a little coarser. When you make it coarser, the water flows through the grounds more easily. As it gets finer and finer, it restricts the flow of the water through there, so you're not going to get as much in the same period of time. This is based on time, and this is volume. So you're just looking to get something that 2 ounces. So what does that mean? I'm going to take this 1 notch, just like that. I just want to go a little bit because I don't think it's going to take much. And then what you want to do as well, when you do that, the old coffee is in between the burrs in there. Grind some out and throw it away. Now you're going to get to that new setting. You don't want a combination of the new and the old. Okay, now that I've dumped the sacrificial shot after changing the grind setting, I'm going to grind the real thing. As you recall, I turned that up a little too. Let's see how that affects how much is in there. Yeah, see, that looks good. Doing this motion, this back and forth, you are going to sacrifice some coffee, but you're going to assure that you've got coffee in every one of those nooks and crannies. If you don't have coffee everywhere, the water is going to seek out the path of least resistance. It's going to go to that spot where there isn't as much coffee, and your shot is not going to be very good. You want all that coffee to be saturated with the water. That's important. 30 pounds of pressure, again, keep that consistent. Don't change a bunch of variables consecutively. Don't do it all at once. Change one thing. I changed the grind, and that's pretty much what I changed, and I just want to see how that's going to go. You want this needle to pop up into this range. The finer it is, the further up it'll go. The coarser it is, it'll go down a little further, and it'll come out faster. That's not looking bad. That's looking better. The freshness of the coffee makes a big difference. If the coffee is not fresh, your results aren't going to be very good. I want to take that up just another notch. You can see what I'm doing though, it's getting further up. As your coffee gets, let's say 12, 15 days down the road, you got a nice bag of the coffee that we were using, the Intelligentsia, and it starts to go toward the stale end of things, a couple of weeks out, you're going to have to adjust the grind to compensate for stale coffee. You're going to have to make it a little finer. So let's do one more here, and I think we'll be good. Take it up a little further, maybe even a little bit more. The other thing is, it's putting more in there. As you make it coarser, for the same amount of time it's grinding, you get more grounds in the portafilter. And you'll kind of experience this as you're going along. So now I'm going to take that back just a little bit to get less in there. We don't want to waste too much. Oh yeah, let's dump that one because that was the sacrificial. When you get down the road, this is a good way of just filling the portafilter. When you get down the road and you want to maybe get fussier about it, you want to weigh it. Weigh the amount of grams that you're putting in the portafilter, and then you get consistency every time. It's like if it's 16 grams, and every time you got 16 grams, it's always going to be the same. So, the other thing I want to show you, the razor. So I am just on top of that coffee. There's not too much in there. If there was too much in there, it would be scraping it, and it's not, so we're good. I think I hit that hard enough. There we go. The other thing is, if you get a 20-second shot or a 25-second shot or a 30, 35, whatever it is, taste it. If it tastes good to you, then you're right on. It doesn't make any difference. Yeah, that's going a little bit too far. I went too far. Well, no, there we go. There we go. Right on. So that's the progression of what changing this makes a difference. I kept the tamp the same, and once you get into it, you'll figure that out too. You know the pressure. You know that you're doing the same thing each time. Good shot. Tastes pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is, okay, we've got that dialed in. We're good there. I think we got that good. Going to get some milk. I'm going to show you how to steam on this because there's a little technique involved in that as well. So stay tuned. On your milk pitcher, you want to fill the milk up to the bottom of the taper on the spout. And you can see here that, see where the frost line is. That's what you want because you're going to have expansion. You could bring it up to here if you really wanted to, but you're going to have some expansion. So I'm going to get the ground coffee ready, get that all ready. Then I'm going to steam. And you know, while I'm getting that coffee ready, I'm going to turn this to steam because it takes a second. Takes a little bit to warm up. It's a thermal block. It's got to increase the heat. Actually, it's a thermal coil, but that's, you know, for what we're doing right now. The terminology is not as important as the end result. It's getting you down the road. Okay, so I got the condensation out. Set this aside. I'm going to do the milk first. Now, the technique on this, because it does not have a panarello, is very important. I am going to rest the pitcher like this against, so I can go up and down and really guide it with precision. If I don't have this precision and I go too far out or I do too far in, too far out, you have bubbles everywhere and stuff is splattering all over the milk. Too far in, you won't have any foam. You won't be integrating any milk. So turn it on. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to break the surface to get. Come on. There we go. This is going to be a little slower than some of the steam arms that are out there, but I think that's an advantage for people that are beginners. It allows you more time to get the technique. And yet you have a traditional steam arm which is going to give you good milk, good foam. You hear that slurping noise? That's the tip breaking the surface of the milk ever so slightly and sucking in air. If you don't hear that and you bury it, you're not going to get any foam. You're going to get hot milk. And I have it off to an angle as well to keep the swirl going. That incorporates the foam into the milk. As you can see, it's rising up on the spout here, so we already have more foam than we did when we started. Plain milk. When it starts to get hot, warm, you're basically done. You got to get your foaming done right in the very beginning. The colder the pitcher, the colder the milk, the better. It gives you more time to stretch that milk. So put your frothing pitcher in the refrigerator or the freezer before you use it when it's not in use. I recommend using a thermometer. I don't have one here right now, but if you had a thermometer here, you could tell the correct temperature, and you don't want to go above 170, and 140 to 170 is typical, around 150 or so. Now, you can see I started down here, now it's up here, right? I want you also to, when you get done, give this a squirt. That gets the milk out of that hole. And if you don't, wipe it off and get the milk out of there. It can siphon up into the boiler. It'll be the worst smell and you have to get a new boiler. There's no way around it. Okay, so the lights came back on. It's ready to go. Let's get our cup going. See this, how it's kind of getting a big blob on the top? That's why you want to keep this incorporated like this. It keeps the foam incorporated into the milk. And now it isn't so much of a blob, and it looks like wet paint. I have more foam than I would want for latte art, but I wanted to show you the technique of getting a lot of foam. You can do less, just submerge the tip. A little bit of something. Maple leaf. That's for anybody up in Canada watching. So I guess I think that about covers everything on this machine. Water, beans, as you know, I'm sure you guys know you can lock and unlock this to take it out. When it's in that position, you see the lights blinking, you cannot use the machine. It disables it, so you can't grind up your fingers down in the grinder. There's more stuff in the book to get into the advanced. We're doing this to get you out of the box and least amount of frustration as possible. You can get down the road and do lots with this machine. This is actually a very versatile machine. So play around. If you have any questions, let us know. But we wanted to do this video for you so that you have a really good experience with your recent purchase right out of the box. Stay tuned. We like having you as our customer. Thank you so much.